Monica Brown, and we're at the 6th annual Simply Divas, which is the annual fundraising event for Families Association for Mental Health everywhere. Simply Divas is the boost of support that they need financially, as well as getting their name out into the community for a place of support. And Simply Divas is a really great way to bring kids in from Etobicoke School of the Arts, get a younger community as well as their families, and the families of the association as well.
The event today is our annual event called Simply Divas. It's a partnership with the Etobicoke School of the Arts. And the people who came here today are friends and family and people who are interested in what we do. And sometimes they're just people who discover us and think this looks kind of cool. And it's a celebration, and it's our opportunity as an agency to find a voice for mental health, and actually a song for mental health.
Today sends a message of hope that those who are supporting family members with a mental illness can really get the most out of life, can enjoy a wonderful afternoon with friends, be not inhibited by the stigma which still is associated with mental illness, can really be free to enjoy life, meet with other people who have similar causes and challenges.
At the time, though, you know you aren't alone, and though you know this happens to probably thousands of people, until you hear that you are very, very positively not alone, and there are many other people going through exactly what you're going through, you really understand that you are not alone, and it is a very comforting feeling.
Doesn't matter your gender, your religion, how much money you have, where you come from, where you're going. This is every man's illness, and an afternoon like this just says it's okay, that we have, these things are okay, and that you are just like everybody else. And sometimes they need to know that, and that's what we really try to bring today, is that this is every man's illness.
Yeah, my name's Brian Stanton. We're at Art Thompson Arena in Pickering, Ontario, and we're here today running the No Surrender Hockey Challenge. It's a hockey tournament in support of the Canadian Mental Health Association, and so just a bunch of friends and family out having a good time and playing some shinny. Friends, family, colleagues, everybody has their own story, their own connection to the cause. The message I think that I hope this event will send to the community is that we need to sort of break down some of those barriers and those walls that prevent people from getting the help that they might need. I don't think that it's an easy thing to do. I don't think that we're going to turn on a switch and it's going to be okay for everybody just to talk openly. But little by little, it'll happen, right? So that would be the ultimate goal of the event. It's nice to raise as much money as we can for the Canadian Mental Health Association. We think they do good work, but I think that's really the heart of what we're trying to do.
I have a couple family members and many friends who have dealt with mental health issues throughout their life, and many of them are here today, in fact, so it's great to be here to just raise awareness of mental health in Canada and to try to kind of erase the stigma.
Well, I think the interesting thing is I think there is a connection for sure. Hockey is all about being tough and confident and all that, and I think by bonding the two together, it's allowing guys that are growing up in a way that they have to be tough and they have to be confident to feel comfortable to talk about it. And I know, I have friends that played hockey, guys that talk about it now, and it took them a long time because growing up in the hockey culture, it's tough. But definitely, I think there's a bond between the two.
It's kind of I guess I don't want to call it liberating, but it is kind of nice to see that it's not a taboo subject anymore. Especially in the hockey culture. People like we were talking about how it's a really tough game, so you need to put on that tough guy image, and it was always seen as your emotions were a weak thing, but really it's an issue that you have to address and to get healthy from that. So it's nice to see that it's opening up and people are actually talking about it and seeking help for it.
You can have a conversation and discuss those type of things openly. It should be okay. I think that's one of the problems is that everybody's kind of behind closed doors and things don't get figured out until it's too late. So, it's nice to see. I think it's long overdue, and I think it needs to be opened up, not just in hockey, but amongst other venues.
Well, I just think, we're saying by being here that, it's okay. Like there's some acceptance. It's okay to have a mental illness. It's okay to know someone that has a mental illness. I think they're showing their support for the people that are struggling sometimes on a day-to-day basis with these problems, and we should start a dialogue and make things better.
My name is Justin Trudeau, and my family has both had the joy and the struggles of having a mother who was bipolar. Through much of my life, we didn't really know she was bipolar. And then as she became aware of it, we started dealing with it as a family. There were moments where she was in total denial that there was any sort of challenge. There were moments where she was self-medicating rather heavily with both prescription and softer drugs, from alcohol to a bit of pot. There were moments where she was seeking help, and the people she was turning to for help ended up being more enablers than anything else. There were times when she was under good, qualified medical care, but that wasn't giving her the right kind of treatment, the right kind of mix in terms of medications that weren't keeping her balanced. And the challenge we had throughout was being there for her. Fortunately, we had a very large family and a lot of love in the family, so when it became too much for one of us, another one stepped in, and we managed to surround her with love and with attention, not perfectly all the time, because it is very hard. But we've gotten to a point now over probably 20 years of active struggling, to a point where I am so proud of my mom. I am so proud of what she's achieved just in terms of caring for herself and knowing her balance points and her triggers, and knowing how to react when she feels that she's going a little too far one way or another. She is now working with a doctor, and they have very much a partnership about how my mom's doing, and mom's almost become as much of an expert on anyone else as to how what she needs in terms of medications at any given moment, because she knows what works with her. Understanding that there's not a quick fix for anything, that it's a life change, that dealing with mental illness is like dealing with any illness. You can't expect to cure it overnight. You have to live with it, you have to work with it, and hope that through the course of time it will be managed and end up pretty much disappearing as a factor in one's life. But I do know that for families out there, there are challenges, and a couple of times I turned towards people where I could lean on and seeked a little bit of help in terms of therapy, just to talk my own way through some of the things that I was experiencing, not so much directly understanding my mom, but understanding what was going on inside of me because of the tragedies, because of my mom. Having someone to talk to was extremely important. So even as I was trying to be there for my mother and for my family, knowing that I needed to make sure I was taking care of me also was an extremely important lesson.
My name is Danica Brown, and we're at the 6th annual Simply Divas, which is the annual fundraising event for Families Association for Mental Health.
The event today is our annual event called Simply Divas. It's a partnership with the Etobicoke School of the Arts. And the people who came here today are friends and family and people who are interested in what we do, and sometimes
everywhere. Simply Divas is the boost of support that they need financially, as well as getting their name out into the community for a place of support. And Simply Divas is a really great way to bring kids in from Etobicoke School of the Arts, get a younger community as well as their families and the families of the association as well.